And this works every single time. Drew Taylor here. Today I'm going to talk about how to hire direct agents and what to expect. For those of you who don't know me, I started when I was 18 years old selling insurance. I'm 33 now. And I found that if I stuck to a schedule, that I could every week be more consistent with my production. And someone asked me, like, how'd you get good at it? And I said, hey, well, I ran 35 appointments a week for 10 years, which is roughly 10,000 appointments, and practice makes perfect. So I was able to get better and better over the years, even though I was naturally an introvert and not really a salesperson. I started to believe that I was truly helping people because we are with life insurance. And then I decided to build an agency after reading a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And my background was bagging groceries. So the first thing when it comes to building that I always did is lead from the front. So by showing people that I could go out there and sharing with them the results that I would get along with the activity that I put in, it encouraged people the new agents that I would hire direct to me to put in that same activity. And what I see happen a lot is someone just tells people, hey, why don't you go and do this even though I'm not doing it? So my goal was to do, and now we have like 5,000 writing agents that are getting paid on a yearly basis on our team. But it started with just a few. But my goal was to go, hey, let me show you what I'm doing, and then you can do the same thing. The next thing was, it took me a while to learn this, but finding people that you want to be in business with. And I would hire people, even if we didn't get along, I would kind of bend the rules of what I was looking for just because I wanted a new recruit. And an example would be I would have somebody go, hey, I'm not willing to do all these things. And I would go, well, okay, you don't have to. And kind of have them not follow the system I was following. And then they would end up being a headache when they didn't get results. So when I'm hiring people, I'm setting real expectations up front on basically saying, hey, this is how hard this business can be. This is how much time you have to put in. This is what to expect. We have chargebacks. You have cancellations. You have to run it like a real company. And I would give them the example of if you opened your own restaurant, how much work would go into it. And I go, expect to do that in the beginning. Elon Musk said one time, opening a new business to him, I think he referenced, was like as hard as like eating glass or something along those lines. So I'm telling people, hey, this isn't a job because you're a 1099 independent contractor. So you have to treat it like that in the beginning, kind of like a rocket ship when they say like 90% of the fuel is used just getting off the ground. Teaching people to practice. Like when I started, I practiced 50 times in the mirror, my phone script. I memorized it. I practiced it on people I knew. And then I would get on the phones. And something I learned, and I share this with new agents that I would hire. Every week, I didn't want to get on the phones. And I didn't get comfortable on the phones until like my first 10 or 15 dials. Maybe even until the first person hung up on me. And then I'd go, okay, now I feel fine. Nobody can hurt me. My anxiety or nervousness would go away from dialing, which I had every single week. For some reason, I don't know if everyone's like that. That's just the way I was. But I'm telling them all these things because I don't want to not hire, because we're not hiring people because everybody's independent contractors. But I don't want to contract an independent contractor on my team if they expect it to be easy and then they go, hey, you didn't tell me this. And there's a lot of beautiful, as you guys know, this business is amazing. but it is hard work and it is running a business. The next thing that I do is get them to take action fast. So if I'm talking to a new agent, my first question is, how fast do you want to make money? And they go, as fast as possible. And I go, okay, well, we got to get you on the phones today. So to give you an idea, we had a few new agents in the office, and I said, hey, this is your first day. You guys can make your first sale today if you call enough people. And even if you had to stay till midnight in Las Vegas, it's still only 9 p.m. in Hawaii if you had to do telesales. And we had people make their first sales that day, even though they didn't want to get started. They wanted to watch a bunch of trainings and YouTube videos, but I just encouraged them just to get pushed into the fire, and they learned and wrote business right away. So the most motivating thing for somebody is for them to get paid. And if it's delayed, the longer it's delayed and the harder that is, then the easier it is to lose a new writer or lose an agent, because they're all getting started to try to make money. So get them to take action the first day. What I do, because Prosperity will give you a writing number within like 1 day, and you have a login and you can sell multiple different products, is I just go, hey, even though it's your first day, you just got contracted, we can get you started with Prosperity. So I show them how to get leads and have them start doing that right away. The next thing I do, and I noticed this with myself, the day I hired, or the day I contracted an agent underneath me, was the day that I got really serious about this business, because I was now showing someone how to do this. So I encourage agents to recruit day one, and we call this starting a fire in the basement, where if now they give up the right to be average and ordinary because they've contracted an agent underneath them, and this works every single time. Creating structure. So going, hey, this is my schedule if you guys want to follow along. I'll be dialing on Zoom if you want to dial with me. If we treat this like it's a 9 to 5, then we can get good results. And my question always was, if I was my own boss, would I fire myself or would I give myself a raise? And when the answer was I would fire myself, I wasn't getting any results. When the answer was I would give myself a raise, I started to get results because I knew I was putting in the work, sticking to my schedule, waking up early, starting early. Early on, I would wake up, and by 10 o'clock, I still didn't even know what leads I was going to call. And once I got familiar with everything, I would be prepared for the next day, the night before, and dialing early in the morning, getting a head start on everybody else. Now, if I can share my schedule and my agenda and do this with people as a team in the trenches with the team, and it also keeps it from being a lonely business, which it can be if you're not working with the team. You're just a lone wolf. Then I see it's easier to convert someone to a new writer in the insurance business. Promoting every conference. So we have a conference coming up, so I want to talk about this. My first month in the business, I wrote 17 policies, and I think 2 of them stayed on the books. So I got 15 chargebacks, and I was telling every single agent, every single customer, they could cancel it if they didn't like it. And then they would end up canceling it. That was actually, for some reason, in my presentation. Now, I had already bought a flight to a conference, and I had never been on a plane before. And I went and learned how complicated everything, I was making everything, opposed to how simple the successful people were doing things. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if I didn't book that ticket, I wouldn't have gone, and I probably wouldn't have stayed in the business. So if you're watching this, commit to it so you can't back out if your dog gets sick or if something comes up, because you already booked your flight, you already booked your hotel, you already committed to go. So I look forward to meeting you guys there. And then lastly, hiring people that are easy to work with, appreciative, they enjoy life. It makes this business it makes it a lot more fun, and it's supposed to be fun, but being around good, like-minded people. So there's a lot of people all turn down working with, because I want to be picky about who I'm spending my time with and who I want in my life. So enjoying the process. And something I had to do because I was working at the grocery store was this. I would have to have good perspective when things got hard as to why I was doing this. And that perspective was I wanted to help my mom. I wanted to help my family when I had a family one day where, I could provide a good life for them. And I hated working at the grocery store. So I had to remember those things to keep me going, but also give perspective of this is a really awesome opportunity that I have. And don't look at it like it's not. When someone hangs up on you, you get a chargeback or something gets tough. So being completely transparent with people, enjoying it, sharing good news and success. And when you build an environment like that, people want to be in it and it's easy to win. So those are my tips on building direct agents. FFL, thank you for everything you guys are doing. Thank you for all the hard work you're putting in for the conference. And look forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks.